so this is chapter 12, section 5, the sane curriculum. Everybody see where it is? Okay. Is anybody incredibly warm in here besides me? Is it just me? Okay, just me. All right. Must be because my child is sitting beside me. Woo! All right. Okay, so here we go, the sane curriculum. We're just continuing on in our chapter 12 series. And the first sentence says, only love is strong because love is undivided. And that means the strong don't attack. And that's because the strong see no need to attack. The strong see no need to attack. And that's because before the idea of attack can enter your mind, you must have perceived yourself as weak. So bring to your awareness any place where you may have attacked recently, attacked another, attacked yourself. Apply this to that. He says you must have, before that idea of attack could even enter your mind, you must have perceived yourself as weak. And because you attacked yourself and believed that the attack was effective, now you see yourself as weakened. And because you now see yourself as weakened, you don't see yourself and others as equal. And regarding yourself as weaker, you attempt to, quote, equalize the situation you made. And you use attack to equalize the situation you made because you believe that attack was successful in weakening you. All right, that pretty much explains that. Like the relationship between attack and weakness. Attack and weakness. There is a relationship like this. Okay? So, and then he says, before the idea of attack even could enter my mind, I had to have perceived myself as weak. So it goes, I feel weak, now I attack. And the reason why I attack after I feel weak is because now that I have seen myself as weak, I don't perceive me and others as equal. When I perceive myself as weak, I perceive myself and others as unequal. And now, to equalize the situation, I'm going to use the same attack that I believe was effective in weakening me. See, I attacked myself and made myself weak. Now I'm going to attack you so that we're equal, okay? Meaning so that I'm not weaker. So I attack to make myself seem stronger, or at least equally weak. Okay, so there's the relationship between weakness and attack. Any other equalizers in here? The equalizer, whenever they feel weak, they attack to equalize the situation, to make sure that they are not the weaker one. Okay? So I attack myself, I feel weak, then I attack others so I can feel equal with them. Now, he says, and interesting that I believe that I use attack to weaken others or to equalize them, to bring them down, to match me, because I believe attack was successful in weakening me. So, where do you feel weak? Where do you feel weak? Where do you feel weak? Do you feel weak in your relationship, in your body, in your money, in your world? Where do you feel weak? Well, that's where the attack is. That's where you attacked yourself. That's where you attacked yourself. That's why you feel weak. Not because you're vulnerable inherently, not because you're weak inherently, not because that's just the way it is, because you attacked yourself. And that's why you feel weak. Where were you attacking someone else? That's where you were feeling weak, or that's when you were feeling weak. Okay? All right. Paragraph 2. That is why the recognition of your own invulnerability is so important to the restoration of your sanity. I love love it. Tell me what it's going to take to restore my sanity. That's what I would like to know. Because if you don't have peace, and you don't have joy, and you don't have health, and you don't have wealth, and you don't have safety, you don't have sanity. They go together. I am sane means I am peaceful. I am sane means I feel safe, and I feel loved, and I feel joy, means I am sane. Not I feel sane, it means I am sane. So wherever there's not peace and joy and ease and safety, you have what? You have lost your sanity. You have lost your sanity. Isn't that interesting to associate sanity with peace? They go together. They go together. And when you don't have peace, you have lost your sanity. In other words, you do not have correct perception. And so we need to have our sanity restored. I need to have my sanity restored to me tonight. Now, how is that going to come back to me? How am I going to come back to my right mind? The recognition of our own invulnerability. Okay, so if I want my right mind to come back, I want to come back to my right mind so I can be peaceful and happy and safe and sane, then I'm going to have to recognize my own invulnerability. Wow, how do you do that? Maybe, how do I recognize my own invulnerability? Because I don't. You know, I was driving through Wash Park today, and Lord knows I was not recognizing my invulnerability as I was slamming on the brakes 15 times. All right, so he says, here's how you do it. Isn't that great? It tells you how your sanity is restored, that tells you how to do it. If you accept your invulnerability, you are recognizing that attack has no effect. Oh, so I recognize my invulnerability by recognizing that attack has had no effect on me or anybody else I attacked. Okay, isn't that great? So I will acknowledge and recognize that the attack that I made on them, it had no effect. And I'm going to acknowledge and recognize that the attack I think they made on me had no effect. Attack has had no effect. Now, what does that mean? Attack has no effects. Essentially, it means that whatever it is you think you've done to hurt them and whatever it is you think they've done to hurt you, nothing has changed. Your identity hasn't changed. Your reality hasn't changed. Your lovableness hasn't changed. Who you are hasn't changed. Your reality hasn't changed. Your identity hasn't changed. Nothing has changed. That's what it means to recognize that attack has had no effect. Wow. So in any place where I'm feeling weak, or I'm feeling guilty because I attacked, or I'm feeling weakened by someone else's attack, that is a place where I've lost my sanity. I need my sanity restored to me, and the way to do that is to go, nothing happened. Nothing's changed. I just had a nightmare. I just had a nightmare, that's all. Nothing has happened. They didn't change my reality. I didn't change their reality. Nothing happened except I went to sleep and had a nightmare that a child of God could be changed because someone didn't like them that day. That's a nightmare. I just had a dream. I went to sleep and had a dream that I could somehow be lacking or not have enough, even though I live in a universe of abundance. Thank you, baby. Would you be willing to get me a glass of water from the kitchen? I forgot some water. Thank you, dear. Appreciate it. Good water. That's tap water. I know, Mommy. I know you won't drink tap water. All right. Okay. So, would that
might be helpful if we
Yes.
could remember, I mean, sometimes we're feeling not weak, we're feeling, kind of powerful
Yeah.
and safe.
Right.
And other times we're feeling weak. To recognize that these were just two different thoughts, but really nothing happened, nothing has changed.
That's right.
If
Exactly.
I recognize that just my thoughts are changing, but I am not, that
Exactly.
might help me believe when I'm having a weak thought, that this is no different than when I was having a strong thought.
That's right.
But perceptions and thoughts aren't affecting anything at all.
Exactly. There's no change. Reality isn't changing with every circumstance I go into. Reality isn't this, and then it's that, and now I go to work and it's this, and then I go into a relationship and it's this, and then I go home and it's this, and then it's the weekend and reality is this. Reality isn't changing at all. The only thing that's happening is reality is the same, and it's love, and it's peaceful, and it's abundant, and safe. The only thing that's happening is I'm going, that's it. And then wondering why I'm so exhausted and confused and tripping over things. And all bruised up because I'm walking into doors that I didn't know were there, and I'm failing to see doorways that are there. Right? And so I'm tripping over things, and I'm banging into things, and I'm failing to see the openings when they are there in front of me. Okay? So, because I am doing this according to my wishes, according to whether I want my way, God's will be done. I want my way, God's will be done. I would rather be right, now I want to be happy. I want to be right, I'm right, I know I'm right. Oh, I would rather be happy. That's the only difference. That's the only thing that's changed. That's the only change that's really happening. My choice to be either right or happy from moment to moment. Sometimes I want my way more than I want to be happy, and sometimes I want to be happy more than I want my way. Right? Meaning more than I want my perception. That's the only difference. Now, so he says, right, so how do you have your sanity restored? You accept your invulnerability. How do you do that? You recognize that the attack has had no effect. Attack has had no effect. Wouldn't that be nice if you really accepted that in this situation? Wouldn't that be awesome? Now, therefore, he says, and even though you attacked yourself in this situation, you'll be demonstrating that nothing really happened. Even though I attacked myself, I was mean to myself, I still have a chance I can still demonstrate nothing happened. Yeah, I attacked myself all day long, and guess what? Nothing happened. Yeah, I was attacking myself all day long, and you know what came of it? Not a thing. Oh, I just wasted time. Oh, that's all I did all day. That's all I did. I just wasted some time. And, but then the Course says, but don't worry, time is an illusion anyway. But if time is an illusion, why waste it going nowhere? So, if it's an illusion, why waste it? Thank you, Aria.
You're welcome.
All right. It says now, so even though you've attacked yourself, you will be demonstrating that nothing happened. I would love, in this situation where I attacked myself financially, I would love to demonstrate that nothing happened. In this situation where I attacked myself in that relationship, I would love to demonstrate that nothing happened. How about you? In that situation where I attacked my body by eating that cheeseburger, I would love to demonstrate that nothing happened. Wouldn't that be great? The whole cheeseburger effect. How to disappear the effects of a cheeseburger? Oh, by recognizing that cheeseburger never happened. Oh, that's how you eat cheeseburgers and still lose weight. Aha. Right on. Thanks, Course. See how practical A Course in Miracles is? Okay. All right. So I'm going to title this the Cheeseburger Effect class. All right. Now, once he says, therefore, by attacking, you have not done anything. Now, once you realize that when you attack, you're not doing anything, then you will no longer see any sense in attack. If attack is nothing, it doesn't do anything, then you won't see any sense in it at all, because you'll recognize that attack manifestly doesn't work, which means you'll see that attack cannot protect you. Wow. So that's the goal we're going for. That's a goal. We don't want to be like, oh, I should never attack. I'm such a bad Course in Miracles student. Shame on me. It's not. That's not how you undo attack on yourself and others. For Lent, I'm giving up attack. This new year, I'm swearing off attack. I'm not going to attack anymore. That's not how it goes. You drop attack when you see it doesn't work. When you see it cannot protect you. When you see it can't make you strong when you feel weak. Then you drop it, and only then and only then. Only when you go, dang, attacking myself did not make me feel safe. That did not protect me. It made me feel more weak, more afraid, more broke. Then you drop it when you see it doesn't work. All right. Yet the recognition, we're still in paragraph 2, and it says, yet the recognition of your invulnerability has more than negative value. In other words, if your attacks on yourself have failed to weaken you, you are still strong. And if you are still strong, you don't have any need to equalize the situation to establish your strength. All right. Wow. Okay. So any situation right now where that feels like a conflict, or that feels like a struggle, okay? Can anybody pull one of those to their awareness?
Yeah.
Anything come to mind? Okay, thank you, Judy. Thank you, Judy. I can always count on you to give me an amen. Okay. The situation feels painful and difficult and frightening because you have attacked yourself and you believe that you have weakened yourself. That's why you're struggling with it. You're like, whoa, I feel weak because of this. I feel weak because of this. I feel like I attacked myself in this situation. I hurt myself. I should have known better. I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have eaten that. I shouldn't have bought that. I shouldn't have. You know, I feel like I hurt myself, or I feel like I've hurt another. That's why I'm struggling with it. I regret what I did. I regret my choice. I've attacked myself. And so I feel weak. I feel weak financially. I feel weak physically. I feel weak in my relationship. So he says, if that situation, your attack on yourself, has not weakened you, it means you're still strong. Even though you got this financial situation, you're still strong. Even though you got this health situation, you're still strong. Even though you got this relationship situation, you are still strong. Because even though you are going through this, the truth is that it has not weakened you. Just because you got this going on doesn't mean you're weak. It hasn't weakened you one bit. Now, is that what you were telling yourself about this situation before you came in here tonight? That's not what I was telling myself about that physical situation, or that relationship situation, or that financial situation. I was telling myself, wow, I really weakened myself. I really weakened myself. I feel weak in that area. And then he's saying to tell yourself that you have failed. Sorry, you failed to weaken yourself. I know you tried to weaken yourself, but you failed. I know you tried to weaken yourself, but you failed. Isn't that great? Now there's something I'd be willing to fail at. I'd love to fail at that. Yes, it's true, you have failed. Failed to weaken yourself. Because even though you made that mistake, and you made it again, and you made that mistake, and you made it again, and you made that mistake, and you made it again, you still haven't weakened yourself, you're still strong. That's a radical concept. I can be mistaken and mistaken and mistaken and mistaken and make it again and still be strong and not be weak. Wow, that's not something I've been telling myself, but I like that better. That's a big improvement on what I had been telling myself about my problems. That's a big improvement, right? So we want to tell ourselves, even though I feel weak in this situation, I am still strong.
Well, it's kind of in our language, too. You know, people will say, I gave my power away.
Yeah, right.
And you don't go to the store and buy more power. You get it back on your own, and people say things like, I got my mojo back.
Exactly.
I mean, the terms are there.
Right. That's right. Exactly. Exactly. Now, if we are struggling and we feel guilty and unsafe because we believe we've been weakened, in other words, we believe that our mistakes that we made have power over us. I believe my financial mistakes have had or do have power over me right now. That's why I'm stressing out about money. I believe that this health situation has power over me. That's why I'm freaking out about it. In other words, I believe it has weakened me. And that's why I'm afraid.
And you'll stay stuck.
Now, and he said, the author is telling us what to say to ourselves, what to do. Is to say to yourself, this has not weakened me. I am still strong. This has no effects on me. My attacks on myself have not had any effects. I am still strong. In other words, this hasn't changed anything. I am still as God created me. I am still as power created me. I'm still as love created me. I'm still as unconditional love created me. I'm still as unlimited power created me. No matter what I'm dreaming in my wishful thinking. Aria, I need you to be over there, please. Do you want this? You can have that. But just please move off the stage.
So it's hard for us, we really need to get that my beliefs determine how I see myself,
Yeah.
but that doesn't change me.
That's right. And all I need to do to undo all the effects that my mistakes seem to have, which seems to be a lot, to undo all those effects, what is it I have to do? All I need to do is acknowledge that my attack on myself, aka this problem, has had no effects. Nothing has happened. The Course is asking you to deny the effects. In other words, to say, this doesn't work, this won't work, this won't work. This won't work. This was meant to be an attack on myself. This was meant to teach me that I'm weak. And it won't work. It doesn't work. Now, once you say that and accept that, then the effects that seem to have power over you disappear. Sounds like magic, doesn't it? But that's what he's saying. I'm suffering from it, and it seems to have effects over me because I'm giving them power. I think that this problem has power to change me, meaning to weaken me. That's why I'm suffering from it. That's why I'm stuttering from it. And when I recognize, like he said, that I am still strong, this has not weakened me. I still have my power of choice, which is my only power. It's the only power that I cannot lose. It can't be taken from me. I still have the ultimate power that cannot be taken from me, and I cannot lose no matter what. When you recognize I am still strong, the effects that seem to have been weakening you disappear. And you demonstrate that even though you've attacked yourself, nothing happened. In this financial situation, in this health situation, this relationship situation, I would like to demonstrate that even though I attacked myself, very creatively, I attacked myself, nothing happened. That's what I would like to demonstrate in this situation. Wow. All right. And if your attacks on yourself have failed to weaken you, then you are still strong. And if you are still strong, because nothing has happened in this situation, if you are still strong, you don't need to equalize. You don't need to equalize the situation to reestablish your strength. Wow, nice. If you're still strong, you don't need to attack. You don't need to bring somebody down. You don't need to judge somebody as less worthy than you. You don't need to do that if you're still strong. Okay? Any questions or comments on that?
So it might be helpful to see a course of basic theology that doesn't matter if I'm attacking myself or my brother, that is equal.
Right.
You have to be more powerful than to attack something and have an effect.
Right, exactly.
In other words, what God has made, I can't affect.
That's right.
I would have to be God to change that.
That's right. Yes, exactly.
And well, for me, that helps me see how, there's no way. It can seem that way, but it can't really happen.
No.
Unless I change to the creator instead of the creator.
Exactly. That's why the Course says all problems are an authority problem.
Yeah.
You've ever been told by somebody you've got an authority problem? Oh, they were telling you the truth. We have an authority problem. Every time I judge, every time I believe I've been weakened, every time I attack, I am deciding to try to be the authority. I'm deciding I'm the authority. I'm the creator of reality. Right? Okay. Anything else before we move on? All right. Can you see or hear in this your way out of the consequences of your attacks? This is the formula for the undoing of all the consequences of your attacks on yourself. Pretty practical, huh? Because we do a lot of attacking on ourselves all day long, and we seem to see the effects in our bodies, in our bank account, on our relationships, on our world, on our children. We want to learn how to undo those effects by undoing their cause. And it goes like this. Even though I attacked myself with money today, nothing happened. Even though I attacked that person today out of my fear and jealousy, nothing happened. And even though I attacked myself with this health condition, nothing happened. Wow. That's how you recognize your own invulnerability. Doesn't that seem so far out? What do you mean recognize my own invulnerability? That's crazy. That's just crazy talk. Doesn't that sound like that?
Yeah, sounds crazy as hell.
Thank you, Judy. Whenever I need a yes, that's crazy witness, there's Judy. All right.
But that's why the Course at some level, on the forgiveness part, it says true forgiveness is that nothing happened.
Right, exactly.
So it's the
Same thing, exactly.
And that's just kind of hard to wrap your mind around.
Exactly. True invulnerability is the recognition that nothing has happened. You haven't been changed. You haven't been weakened. Even if you had a horrible childhood, you still haven't been weakened. Nothing happened. That's just so hard to believe. That's why the Course says, before you open this book, I want you to say after me, I do not have to believe these ideas. Right? You don't have, that's why it tells you at the beginning, you don't have to believe it, you don't have to accept it, you don't have to welcome it, you don't have to like it. It'll seem startling, it'll seem ridiculous, it'll be hard to believe, and you will actively resist them. And they don't matter. So it tells you that in the beginning, so that even though it sounds crazy, impossible, ridiculous, hard to believe, startling, and I'm going to actively resist it, if I will just let it in and go, you know what, that is crazy, that sounds hard to believe, but you know what, if it's true, that'd be awesome. So yeah. That's all it takes. So even if I don't believe that I could experience invulnerability in this crazy world, I will say yes to it. I will say yes to it, and I will do what you told me to do in order to get that perception, because even though it seems impossible, I would really, really like to experience invulnerability. I don't know about you guys, but this is one scary place to me. Scary. Even, and I made it exponentially scarier by having a child. So when it talks about how to experience my own invulnerability, I am all ears, even if I do not believe it at all. I'm all ears. Tell me how to experience my own invulnerability. Okay? I'll tell you. Whatever situation you're going through right now that you think is having power over you and making you weak, I want you to tell yourself, nothing has happened. Say that. Nothing has happened. In this situation where I think so-and-so hurt me, nothing has happened. And nothing has happened. In this situation where I'm looking at my bank account, nothing has happened. Okay? Just do what it said to do. Apply it as it said to apply it. All right.
It has to, when I thought what you said about it sounding crazy and insane, and yeah, any idea that is counter to what we already believe, right at first sounds crazy.
That's right. Thank you. That's a very good thing to remember. Anything that is different from what I believe now, I initially, right off the bat, call crazy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
If you look at the course of human history, our learning has all been about undoing what we previously believed.
That's right. It's exactly right. That's exactly right. Learning and evolution has been recognizing that what we used to believe was crazy, and what we called crazy at first actually became reality. So, good thing to notice when you go, that's crazy, when you notice yourself having that initial response to something that's insane, that's crazy. Take note, go, maybe I should look at that.
Tells you what you believe.
That's right, tells you what you believe.
Doesn't make it right.
That's right, exactly. I love that. Anything that doesn't agree with what we believe now, we call crazy and insane. We say, what a fool you are. Oh, you poor dear. You need me to correct you. All right. Paragraph 3. You will never realize the utter uselessness of attack, except by recognizing that your attack on yourself has no effects. Okay, I won't stop attacking others. I won't stop judging others until I recognize that my own judgments on myself have had no effects. Wow. Wouldn't it be awesome to recognize that your judgments on yourself have had no effects? Wow. So all those times I was like, judging myself to be a loser or a failure or not enough or inadequate or too slow or defective or whatever. All those judgments I made on myself, every last one of them, unworthy, unlovable, not a good friend, not a good partner, not a good daughter, not a good parent, not a good citizen, not a good manager, whatever, all those judgments on myself.
And how to stop judging yourself?
By recognizing that they have no effects. They've had no effects. He says, you won't recognize that judging others is useless, utterly useless, until you realize that all the judgments you've made on yourself, I'm not good at this, I'm not good at that, I'm inadequate at this, I'll never be this, I'm a this, I'm a that, I'm a this, I'm a that, have had no effects. He's asking us to recognize, or just to say, all my judgments on myself have had no effects. This judgment on myself as a bad fill in the blank has no effects.
Isn't that positive judgments too, though? If you're saying I'm a superstar.
Oh yeah, I'm better than others, I'm smarter than others. Yes, he's exactly right. Yes. Anytime you're judging yourself to be different and you're assessing a difference. I'm better than, I'm less than. I'm smarter, I'm more intelligent, I'm dumber. Right? Anytime you're assessing a difference. I sure am glad I'm not like that. Or, oh, I wish I was like that. Right? Those are judgments. Right? So, he's actually asking us to say that our judgments on ourselves, our attacks on ourselves, has no effects. Wow. Where do you ever hear something tell you to do that? Anybody hear any instruction like to do that today?
In our mind, we believe it. You know, when we label something, it's almost the same as creating it.
That's right.
And so we believe it to be true.
That's right.
So that's what you're creating is this belief. But I think the easiest way for me that I ever saw this idea was when Wayne Dyer says, just because you call someone stupid doesn't make them stupid.
Exactly. And just because you think something, don't make it real. Doesn't make it true. The Course in Miracles is teaching you, number one, how to recognize when you're judging yourself. And number two, to question it. And that is the process of enlightenment, right? Oh, I must be judging. How do I know? Because I don't have peace anymore, right? That's how and just because I'm seeing that to be true right now, gee, does that make it really true? Does that mean that's really what's happening here? So I'm learning to recognize my judgments when I'm making them, always characterized by loss of peace somehow, okay? Judgment and loss of peace are like this. That's how you can it's crucial that we know when we're attacking ourselves, right? If we have to recognize that our attacks have had no effects, you're going to have to know when you're attacking yourself. That's a pretty important part of the curriculum. How do I know when I'm attacking myself? Well, I don't feel good. Basic, that's it.
What if someone else attacks you?
If you don't feel good when they're attacking you, you must be attacking yourself.
Okay.
Because if you weren't attacking yourself, you would still feel good. You'd even feel better because you would see theirs as a call for love, which would make you feel better.
Well, judgment is attack. It is just one of the forms of attack.
Judgment is attack. I'm judging myself. I'm going, this is how I am. This is what I am. This is what's true about me, even though you're totally miserable. That's a judgment. That's an attack on yourself. And then he's asking you to recognize when you're attacking yourself, aka judging yourself, and then to question it and go, hey, gee, I wonder if, just because that's the way I'm seeing it right now, that's true. That is enlightenment right there. Simple, huh? Okay. And then step number 3 to go, wow, no matter what I think, it don't make a difference. Because I am not the author of reality. In other words, my judgments have no effects. It doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter what I thought. It doesn't matter what I think about myself in this situation. It doesn't matter what I think about them, because I am not the author of reality. And because I'm not the author of reality, my perceptions about them and me have no effect. I may as well be sitting here doing nothing. As a matter of fact, the Course says when you're doing that, when you're judging, you have a blank mind. Because you are doing nothing. You may as well be going, Your mind is blank. In other words, nothing happening, you aren't doing anything, no effects in reality are happening. Now, if I accepted that, like he says, if I recognized that, then I could demonstrate that no attack happened and nothing has been weakened. But I don't recognize that because I want my judgments to be true, because I want to be right, and I want to be right because I feel weak. Right? I want to be right because I feel stupid. Right? I want to be right because I feel dumb. I feel stupid. I feel weak. That's why I want to be right. And that's why I'm like, oh, I know what that means, and I know what they're doing, and I know who they are, and I know who I am, and I know what I mean, and I know what I'm doing. Because I'm trying to demonstrate that I understand what I see. Because I think that that compensates for being ignorant or weak. Wow.
Well, we need to recognize that wanting to be right is it's our little safety valve. I mean, anytime you're confused or feel lost,
Yes.
it's frightening.
That's right.
So this wanting to be right just makes us feel a little safer.
Exactly. And
We
he's like,
don't realize we're just running to something threatened or frightened,
Yes.
so we ran to where it felt safer.
exactly. That's what he was saying in that earlier paragraph, that we attack and we judge because we think it protects us. I feel weakened because I've attacked myself. I told myself I was a loser. I attacked myself. Now I feel I feel weakened. And to protect myself, now I'm going to attack and judge others. To protect myself. And it's only when I recognize that doesn't make me feel better. That doesn't make me feel safer. I feel worse. Even though I attacked them and I put them down in my mind and judged them so that I could feel equal with them, I feel more unsafe. So only when I recognize that it doesn't work to protect me. It doesn't work to protect me. Judgment doesn't work to protect me. It doesn't protect me. Judgment doesn't protect me. Attack doesn't protect me. It doesn't make me safer. It doesn't make me feel better. Only then will I drop it. That's it. Only then. I won't drop it because I think it's bad. I won't drop it because I'm trying to be a good person. I'll only drop it because it don't work. That's it. Judgment doesn't work to protect me. Trying to make you seem like the idiot instead of me doesn't work. I'm not the idiot, you're the idiot. Doesn't work.
It's kind of funny, we attack ourselves. We attack ourselves and then seek safety outside ourselves, you know.
That's right.
Because the only way to undo that is right where the attack came from.
Exactly. That's exactly right. All right. So paragraph 3, you will never realize the utter uselessness of attack except by recognizing that your attack on yourself has no effects. Because others do react to attack if they perceive attack. And if you are trying to attack or judge them, you will be unable to avoid interpreting this as reinforcement. In other words, the only place you can cancel out all reinforcement is in yourself. It's like in response to Judy's question. The only place you can cancel out reinforcement of the attack is in yourself. In other words, it ain't going to happen with somebody else. You were asking the question, what if somebody else attacks you?
Yeah.
Right. You know, only if you are attacking yourself could you feel attacked. And so the only place to cancel attack or the reinforcement of it is in yourself. In other words, you can't correct them.
Yeah.
You know, you aren't going to correct them. Okay.
Because their attack would just seem like a call for love if I wasn't attacking
If
myself.
I wasn't attacking myself, I would just see them.
It wouldn't threaten me.
It wouldn't threaten me. I would be moved with compassion. I would feel sorry for them, and not in a negative way, but I would have compassion, empathy.
And
Yeah.
when someone else attacks you, and then you say, if you weren't attacking yourself, you could you say that you were accepting what they say? Accepting it means the same thing as attacking yourself.
I'm not exactly sure what you're asking.
I'm not either.
Okay. So, did I hear you asking the first part of saying, if you were to say to somebody else, if you're attacking me, you must be attacking yourself? Did I hear that correctly?
Well, if they're attacking you and you feel bad, doesn't that mean that you're accepting it.
Yes, you are agreeing with them.
And then you agreeing with them.
Yes.
And so that means you
Yes.
are attacking yourself.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, that's what I was trying to get.
The Course in Miracles says this: if they're attacking you, it's because you had attacked yourself, and they're just reflecting it. Now, what you decide in the moment determines then what you're going to experience from that point forward. In other words, if I draw somebody, if there's somebody in my face attacking me, then that means I have been attacking myself, because it ain't no accident that they're in my face going, you, bang me, you, right? That's no accident. That wasn't a fluke, okay? They are in my face going, you did this to me.
Yeah.
Because I had already attacked myself. Now, what I do from this point forward, or what I experience from this point forward, will come from what I decide in the moment. So in the moment, if I go, aha, this is my attack on myself, and this has no effects because it's not changing anything, and it's called for love, then it has now, even though I've attacked myself, as evidenced by this person in my face, now I'm about to demonstrate that it had no effects. And then 5 minutes later, we're going to be best buds.
And if you're
I
not,
just demonstrated that nothing happened.
and if you're not, that's okay too.
And if you're not best buds, then you just haven't got to the point where you have recognized your invulnerability, and you haven't demonstrated that y'all's attack on yourselves had no effects. Yet. That's all. You're just delaying it. You're just delaying the inevitable. The inevitable is that you are going to recognize that your reality is established by God, not you.
But are there some people you're not going to be best buds with, like Judy was saying?
Yes, that's right.
Just
But you will
part
have
ways.
peace. That's right. Well, here's the deal. If you have decided to take responsibility for what you're experiencing and make another choice, and you get the peace, if they may not decide that, they may not make that decision, and they'll make a different decision, and they won't have the peace. And if they don't have the peace and you have the peace, they're not going to want to be around you, because they're going to say, you're boring.
You're not fighting with me.
You're not fighting with me. You're a wimp. Or whatever. People who need conflict find people who value peace very boring. And people who value peace find other people who value peace really exciting. So you don't have to worry about what they choose or don't choose. You can just be sure that, that they're going to make their choice, and if they don't want peace, then they will take their own selves out of the scene. They'll go find somebody who likes to fight with them, who loves to argue. You ever met somebody who loves to argue? They love it. They love it, right? So they'll go find somebody, because there's plenty of people around these here parts that love to argue. They will not be lonely. So they may be in hell, but they won't be lonely.
Are you saying that when someone attacks us, we are really choosing that?
Yes. What happened when somebody attacks, they are agreeing with us. And then what happens after that is our choice. They're here because I was attacking myself. They're just showing me a picture of me attacking myself. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine the other day, and she was telling me about a relationship thing she was going through, and I said something to her that she felt like a confrontation to her, I wasn't agreeing with what she was telling me, but she had awareness. She knew the truth, and she said, "You're just saying what I already believe myself." And I was like, "You got it." Total awareness. Instead of going, "Hey, why are you saying that to me? That's not right. I thought you were my friend." She didn't say that. She goes, "Oh, you're just saying to me what I believe myself." So if someone's attacking you, they're agreeing with what you believe, but you have an opportunity to remember the truth, which is, I would like in this situation to recognize my invulnerability. I would like to recognize that even though I attacked myself and I'm seeing the effects of it, nothing happened. When I judged myself as unworthy, I wasn't doing anything. When they then went, yeah, you're not worthy, nothing happened, nothing's happening. And then I step out of that situation and I am the living proof that nothing happened. My life isn't any worse. And my life is more abundant. Okay? All right. Nice. He says, the only place, we're in paragraph 3, the only place you can cancel out all reinforcement is in yourself. If I want to cancel out the reinforcement of attack, I've got to do it in myself. If I don't like that these people are attacking me, I got to cancel out the reinforcement in myself. If I don't like what they're doing to me, I don't like how they're perceiving me, I don't like how they're treating me, the only place I can cancel out all that reinforcement is in myself. Why? Because I am always the first point of my attack. And if the first point of attack, my attack has never been, then guess what? The attack has no consequences. If the attack has never been, the attack has no consequences. If the attack has never been, the attack has no consequences. Has there been an attack on me? I don't think so. Why? Because you can't change eternal love. Has my attack had any consequences on them? Nope. Why? Because you can't change eternal love.
This
So,
is one of these
that's it.
deals where, but I'm not fixing myself. When I feel attacked, whether it feels like them or me,
Right,
this means I listen to the wrong voice.
right.
And me trying to fix myself would just be me of listening to that
Yes,
voice some
that's
more.
exactly
I need
right.
to say, help, or
That's right.
how do you feel about this, Holy Spirit?
That's exactly
That's where
right.
I got to change voices.
That's right.
I mean, often we tend to think, okay, now we self-analyze and do all this crap and don't get anywhere because we're just going
That's
back
right.
to the same voice without realizing it.
So we're constantly trying to fix the effects
Yeah,
of attack or judgment.
right.
So stop trying to fix the effects and go to the source and recognize that the attack has never been. What does attack mean? Attack means you've affected something. You've changed something. You've affected something. But you can't. And if you recognize the attack has not been, in other words, this person may be in my face attacking me, but I'm the one who attacked myself first. And if my attack on myself has never been, meaning it didn't change anything, then this attack will have no consequences. Now I like that. Tell me how to keep my attack from having any consequences. I'm all ears. Wow. I mean, it's like having a big old eraser. It's like having a big old eraser. Here you are writing all this crap. Mean stuff. Mean stuff on the board about yourself, about others. I'm not worthy of love, and I'm not worthy of love because of this, and I'm not worthy of love because of that, and I'm not worthy of love because of this, and I'm not worthy of abundance and health and safety because of this. Mean stuff on the board I write about myself. And when I recognize that my attack has never been, it's like, it's just erased. It just never been. It's like on a dry erase board. When you erase it, it's like it never was. Where'd it go? It's as if it never was. That's the consequences of your mistakes being undone. How'd you like to have all your relationship, the effects of all your relationship mistakes undone? Anyone?
The board.
Anyone?
That'd be a while.
How would you like to have the consequences consequences of your financial mistakes undone, erased.
Also mean the good stuff is undone too, though?
Well, the good stuff would be the effects of your correct perception. So the consequences of attack is always lack.
I like that.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Paragraph 4. The Holy Spirit's love is your strength. Oh, finally we get to what my strength is. Talking about all this weakness and attack. Let's talk about what my strength really is. Well, the Holy Spirit's love is your strength. Why is the Holy Spirit's love my strength? That's because your strength and your love is divided and therefore not real. So Holy Spirit's love's got to be my strength, because my strength is divided, which means can't be depended on. You can't trust your own love when you attack it. And you cannot learn of perfect love with a split mind, because a split mind has made itself a poor learner. You try to make the separation eternal because you wanted to retain the characteristics of creation, but with your own content. In other words, you wanted to be the author of reality. Yet creation is not of you, and poor learners do need special teaching. Aww.
I like the next one too.
I love that line too. You have learning handicaps in a very literal sense. We're not talking metaphorical. When we say you have learning handicaps, we're not talking metaphorically. We're not talking philosophically and metaphorically. We're literally. You have learning handicaps. You think someone who can't see out their eyes has a learning handicap? You got learning handicaps that are worse than that.
I thought I was a perfect child of God. Here I find out.
Yes, we are poor learners who need special teaching because we have learning handicaps in a very literal sense. Wow. Oh, okay, so this is the special ed class. Yeah. This is the special ed curriculum. All right, all poor learners, come to class. Now you see why this class is not. It is a small on the night the Broncos are playing. So funny. Okay. I'm not gonna go listen to. I don't want to listen to something tell me I have learning handicaps in a very literal sense, and I'm a poor learner and I need special teaching. Not when the Broncos are playing.
Man, it just keeps getting worse.
I know. He says, okay. He says you have learning handicaps in a very literal sense. You know why? Because there are areas in your learning skills that are so impaired that you can progress only under constant, clear-cut direction provided by a teacher who can transcend your limited resources. Wow. I mean, some days I feel retarded and all, but, you know, I'm actually more retarded than I thought. Retarded meaning learning handicaps in a very literal sense. That means areas in my learning skills that are so impaired that unless I am under constant, clear-cut direction by a teacher who can transcend my limited resources, I won't be able to progress. Wow! In other words, I'm not going to wake up on my own. I'm not going to wake up without a teacher who I let constantly, clearly direct me. Wow. And I do, you know, it's like, here we have a teacher who will constantly and in a clear-cut way direct us. Constantly and clearly direct us. We have that in this and within. And do we turn to that teacher as much as we should? No, we're like, I got this on my own. I can figure this out on my own. La 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 la. Wow. I cannot progress at all without constant, clear-cut direction by a teacher who can transcend my limited perception. But yet, I don't need to listen. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm having a good day. I don't need to listen. Wow. But the only way we're really gonna progress, waking up to greater levels of peace, is with constant, clear-cut direction from a teacher who can transcend our limited resources. Wow.
I think that's hard for us to get, what special ed learners we are, you know.
Yes.
I think we tend not to believe that, but I guess for me it's, look how many years, not only did I fail to stop attacking myself,
Yes.
I wasn't even able to see that I was attacking myself. Until
Learning
this teacher
handicap.
come along.
Exactly. Yes, dear. Okay. Do you need it? Okay, go get my keys from my purse, and then ask Patrick if he'll help you to go get. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you. All right. Wow. Okay, so, and here's another reason, that was a great, what has made us poor learners is that we have a split mind. Yeah, we asked Patrick to take you out there and get that. I have a split mind. And like you were saying, Jim, I'm constantly attacking myself and attacking other people. That's what it means to have a split mind. It's like, having a split mind when they're like eating each other up, It's like you have a split mind and one's attacking the other. It's almost like it seems to cancel itself out. That's why we don't seem to learn, meaning we still keep going through the same thing over and over and over and over. Why am I still going through financial issues like this after all this time? Why am I going through relationship issues like this after all this time? Why am I still doing this to myself physically after all this time? It's like I don't progress. To me, that's what it feels like to not be progressing. Right? Evolving. I'm still doing the same old. Have you ever picked up a journal that you had kept, that you had from years ago, and you start reading through that journal, and lo and behold, you were complaining about the same things you were complaining about now. Has that ever happened to you?
No.
It sure has happened to me. I'm like, oh my God, I am complaining about the very same things 25 years later. That's a slow progression. That's a poor learner. Or go eat it in the kitchen, please.
I want to make pizza.
Okay. So, I would like to stop being a slow learner. I would like to progress beyond kindergarten. How about you?
Yeah.
Okay. Would anybody be willing to join me in the goal of being a faster learner?
Couldn't appreciate it.
A better learner. Okay. So we're hearing how to do that. If you want to be a faster learner, a better learner, where you're progressing a little more quickly than we have, is this. Take advantage of having a teacher who is providing for you constant, clear-cut direction that transcends your limited resources. Utilize that teacher. Stop trying to do it by yourself. use the curriculum, use the teacher. Look, here's the teacher who gave us its ideas. These are our teachers, constant, clear-cut direction that can transcend our limited resources. Let's use them. Let's let ourselves be directed. Let's let ourselves be constantly directed by them instead of looking at them, hearing them, putting them down, and forgetting about them as if we didn't just hear the answer. That's what I heard about how to be a not a poor learner, not a slow learner. Okay? In other words, stop trying to teach yourself. This is the way to undo your literal learning handicaps. Wow. Okay. Like, one of my learning handicaps is that I was given this and I don't use it. It's like, it's like being someone who's blind and someone goes, here's some Braille. Here's Braille. It's great. You open the world up for you. And I'm like, oh, that's all right. That's all right. I'll just that's fine. I don't need that. I'll just bump into here and bump into there and bump into there. That's my literal learning handicap. I am given a guide like this, a curriculum like this, a teacher like this, and I don't use it. I don't use it. What do? I watch TV, yeah. That's what I do. I listen to my angry friends. That's what I do.
So you think it's our split mind? It's like we'll listen to our new guide and take a couple of steps forward, then we'll listen to our old teacher again and take 2 steps back.
Yeah.
And we just never really get anywhere. And I guess what we're looking for is how do we switch over there to where it's more 80-20 instead of 50-50.
Exactly.
Is the only way we're going to make any progression.
That's right. Exactly.
Not just have the same problem we had 20 years ago.
Exactly. I mean, what it comes down to is this. For me, in my perception, is this. Eventually, when we're tired of the slowness of our progression, the slowness of our learning, I'm tired of going through this over and over and over and over. Dear God, I'm sick of it. When I'm finally really sick of it, then I'm going to do what our teacher said to do. That is what it comes down to. I'm just going to go, okay, all right. What did you say to do? You said, say I am as God created me 5 times a day. Okay. It said, say when I feel like I have attacked myself and I feel weak, say I have not, my attack has no effects. Okay. And I'm going to do it. And that's what it's going to come down to. That's when it will happen. And it's like, like it or not, but that is what it comes down to. Eventually I'll go, all right, I'll do what my teacher directed me to do. I will allow myself to be directed. I will listen to a voice besides my own. And that's what I'm going to do. I will let myself be directed. We're so pissed about learning that we need constant, clear-cut direction. We just thought we were smarter than that. The Course says that it's not that you have trouble listening, or that it's that you find it personally insulting to be told you need constant, clear-cut direction, right? It's not that it's difficult for me to hear that. It's just that I'm just like, need constant, clear-cut direction. I know what I'm doing, right? I find it personally insulting to be told that I don't know anything, even though I'm exhibiting it in technicolor. I'm exhibiting that I'm ignorant. I'm exhibiting that I'm confused in technicolor. Flaming technicolor. With explosives, lots of explosives. Car crashes, explosives, right? But yet, I am still clinging to the idea that I know something. And I find it personally insulting for when the truth tells me you don't know anything. Because you have a split mind. Because you're still attacking.
So I learned to recognize that old teacher, and I just, no, I don't want, I ain't going there no more.
Exactly.
You refuse it, you don't listen to it.
Exactly. And then he tells you what your real learning handicap is. Paragraph 6. You don't know the meaning of love. That's your handicap. Oh, you're right. You're not stupid, but you're handicapped not because you're ignorant, stupid, inadequate. That's not why you're handicapped. You're not defective. It's just that you don't know the meaning of love. That's your handicap. I don't know the meaning of love. Okay. All right. Is it okay? Is it an acceptable idea tonight to say and recognize I don't know the meaning of love? Okay. Because if you did, you wouldn't be attacking yourself all day. Now, since you don't know the meaning of love and that's your handicap, don't attempt to teach yourself what you don't understand. Don't attempt to teach yourself what love means. Don't attempt to teach yourself what loving means. And definitely don't try to set a curriculum goals where your goals have clearly failed. Your learning goal has been not to learn. That's been my learning goal. And the learning goal of not learning cannot lead to successful learning. You can't transfer what you haven't learned. And the impairment of the ability to generalize is a crucial learning failure. Would you ask those who have failed to learn what learning aids are for? They don't know. If they could interpret the aids correctly, they would have learned from them. In other words, are you going to keep turning to yourself to teach you what love means? Are you going to keep turning to yourself to teach you what being loving means? Are you going to keep turning to yourself? Are you going to keep asking yourself, what do I do? What does this mean? How should I be loving? Are you going to keep asking yourself and turning to yourself when your goal has been not to love, your goal has been not to learn, your goal has been not to learn and not to love, same thing. Why are you going to keep turning to yourself for your teaching? Why are you going to keep turning to yourself for reality, for direction, for guidance? Why? It doesn't make sense. That's why your only hope of becoming a learner who's actually learning and progressing forward is to accept the clear-cut and constant guidance that is available to you forever at no cost. Amen.
You just have to ask.
That's right. You just have to ask.
Don't ask yourself.
You just have to ask. Love. Don't ask yourself. And judgment is you asking yourself. And telling yourself. Judgment is you asking and you answering yourself. That's kind of retarded. That's what people with learning handicaps do. They ask themselves a question even though they don't know, and then they answer. And then anybody who doesn't believe them, they say it's crazy, and they attack them. All right, that's a special learner right there. Oh, how special. She made up herself what reality was. She asked herself a question, then she answered it herself, decided she was right, and anyone who didn't agree with her, she attacked them. Oh, isn't that special? That's very special. That's how the learning handicapped do it. Yay, aren't they fun? Hey, people who with learning handicaps, they're a drag. Because they're always creating drama. And they're always complaining. And they're always suffering. And they're always broke. And the best part about it, they're always blaming it on you. Real fun. And the beings who don't have learning handicaps, because they know the meaning of love, they avoid us. They're like, stay away. They walk by us like this. Like tiptoeing by us. Don't let them know you're here. They have learning handicaps. They don't know the meaning of love. Stay away. All right. Just like you do when you notice somebody's insane, they're talking to themselves and they're all angry and they're talking to themselves. What do? You're like You're like you tiptoe around them so that they won't see you and try to talk to you, right? That's what sane beings do with us. All right. That's insulting. All right.
It's funny too.
Okay, thank you. All right, let's do our love offering.
And then, hey, who likes to sing?
Not me.
I like to listen.
Because I like to sing happy birthday to people that having a birthday.
Oh, tomorrow, yeah.
Happy
that's
birthday
right.
to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Hannah Pojana. Happy birthday to you.
Shucks.
That's right.
You ever seen a Southern girl blush?
Open the best.
Thank you. That's very sweet of you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm 39 again.
That one's insane.
Hey!
Just call you Mrs. Benny.
For as slow as a learner as I am, I could say I'm about 10.
What
All right.
is better?
All right. Thank you, guys. Let's do our integration meditation for 2 minutes, and then we will complete. All right. So we don't have any music because maybe we do. All right. So just close your eyes and just breathe. Okay, so let's go ahead and make the decision to be good learners who learn quickly and learn easily. We want to be quick learners, easy learners, good learners. And so let us acknowledge that that we are learning handicapped, because we don't know what love means. And then let's, within our own selves tonight make the decision to resign now as our own teachers. So we say within ourselves, I resign now as my own teacher. I do not know the meaning of love. My mind is split. I think judgment protects me. I do not know the meaning of love. And so I now resign as my own teacher. And now I ask my teacher to give me its clear-cut and constant guidance. Teacher, give me your constant, clear-cut direction, so that I may progress all the more quickly to my sanity. I want the return of my sanity. I want the return of my peace. and I would progress more quickly in my learning of the meaning of love and on to my peace. And so for a moment, I want you to just hang tight with that teacher, giving that teacher the power of decision in your own mind. Give that teacher the power of attorney in your mind. And we say to that teacher within ourselves, please decide for truth for me. Decide for love for me. Decide for sanity for me. And in this situation where I'm feeling lack, decide for abundance for me. Teach me the truth. And then for a moment, just sit in peace with that teacher, in acknowledgement of that teacher's presence and its reality. You are forever in a relationship so powerful that you can change your mind in an instant and change the world in the next. So don't forget your teacher, because your teacher has not forgotten you. Beautiful. And to that we say amen. All right, you guys.
Thank you.
Awesome class.